What is up, everybody? 41 Jake here. Hope you're having a great Monday. I wanted to share this awesome movie that I watched this weekend. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called The Current War. Pretty impressive lineup of actors and everything. But the story behind it was amazing because I honestly had no idea what I was getting into when I started that movie. And I thought, as I was watching it, I kept seeing things that would kind of mesh with the 401k world. And it got me thinking, like, this is really kind of useful and a good way to just have some entertainment because right now we're all stuck at home. Hopefully you've got a little bit of time to watch some movies, and this is one I would recommend. It's at Redbox right now, so check it out. But here's the 3 things that I learned from the current war that taught me something good and useful for the 401k world. All right, number 1. Now, the current war is all about the fight for basically the race to get electricity to the world, essentially, is kind of the main premise. It is around a world, what's called the World Fair. There was a huge event put on in Chicago back in, I think, 1893, I want to say. And this was really to kind of 400 years after Columbus found America, even though it was 1492, it was the year later. But hey, this is a huge event. A lot of things came together for this event, and there was a big battle to see who would provide really the power, the light, because that was such a new thing back then. So the first thing that kind of caught my eye was this is a battle with Thomas Edison and George Westinghouse. And I think George Westinghouse is one of the most underrated titans, is what I saw when I was Googling a little bit about him. One of the guys that just, I don't think, got enough credibility for the things that he accomplished. Like, I was blown away the more I dug into his history. Baffled, right? Because I'd seen the brand, and it's not really that great of a brand anymore, even though you probably have a couple things in your house that have Westinghouse on them. But it's definitely not to the level of Edison, right? We don't really, when we hear Thomas Edison, yeah, light bulb, yep, he's the guy. Well, Edison was known for a lot more than that. And of course, Edison Electric went on to be General Electric, which is one of the oldest, largest, biggest companies in the whole world, right? So what I found interesting is that during this time, there was this huge battle between inventors or inventions and things that were going to improve people's lives. It had to be so exciting because people were going around back then, right, with candlelight. Like, that's how they saw things. And so it was just really amazing to watch that as they would fight and try to be the first to different things and would have to deal with different opinions and just, like, I can't imagine what it would have been like to keep pushing forward, to keep failing again and again and again until they got something right that just took off and, like, the whole country was going nuts for. Amazing, right? So I think that's kind of number 1. Was I learned that, you know what? People that think they can change the world actually can do it. The ones you think are crazy, right? That's just what it is. So if you think you can change the 401k world like I do, we're going to do it together because it's a big world. So number 2, they were so competitive with each other, and it was really fun to watch because they started out kind of trying to figure out could they work together, and a couple times they almost did. And there was another third guy in the middle of this whole battle for the electricity, the current war, and Nikola Tesla, right? Which we definitely have heard of because his name was revived. But we don't know Tesla from what he originally did, which is a patent on alternating currents, or AC current, which is what all of our houses are running power on right now. So incredible story because he actually started out working for Thomas Edison and then went through some real tough challenges in his own business, ended up being a part of Westinghouse, which fascinating, right? And so as they were competing with each other, it got a little nasty sometimes, and it was interesting to watch how they were still back in the late 1800s using the media to take jabs at each other. Like, they would, who was going to lead, who was going to go next, who was going to take the next punch, all through the media. And it was fascinating to see. And I know it was a movie, right? And there's a lot more to the real story, I'm sure. And so I'm not saying that the movie was exact by any means, but the way they portrayed it was really fascinating to me because it showed this competitive respect, I think, which was, I think, a good thing that we could have more of in the financial world. Let's be honest. How many times have we gone up for a plan head-to-head with somebody and it gets ugly? It happens a lot. There's plenty of business out there for us to be friends and respectful of our competition. especially if you're a 401k specialist. Okay, number 3, the final thing, the part that really caught my attention the most, because I think it resonated so deep with some experiences that I had personally, is the final bid for the World's Fair. That was incredible watch, and I'm not going to spoil it, to watch, I mean, you can Google it, whatever, but to watch the 2 different men, so Edison Electric versus Westinghouse, how they approached the committee that was there to determine who would win that bid, who would have the electricity and put lights and really be front and center for the entire World Fair, which was a massive event. And the way that they both approached it, the way they prepared, the way they pitched, the way they presented was night and day. And it was fascinating to watch the different approaches, because I've tried both personally. And I typically lean more towards an over-prepare kind of guy when I go into a meeting where I'm proposing to win a 401k plan. And oftentimes that doesn't work. Sometimes it does. But I think it's fascinating to see how sometimes you don't have to be super flashy, and you don't have to be showing off something that you're really not going to do, or make promises, over-promise and under-deliver, right? It's purely, are you going to do the best job? What is it that you might say that is there going to capture their attention? And I've literally gone into proposals where I walked out and thought, we got that. There's no way we didn't get that. We said everything right, and we didn't win it. It was because of one little tiny thing I didn't say or mention. It was something I probably would have done for them, or would have done even without even asking or hearing them want it, but I didn't mention it in the proposal. So really, when you think about a 401k advisor's role, especially early in a relationship with a new client, you're a professional interviewer. I mean, that's what your job is, to go in, to communicate in a way that resonates with the person on the other end, and they're going to have previous opinions and thoughts. And so what I'm trying to do with 401 Jake and the 12-week program is help you communicate better before you get to that meeting. And this is something that I grabbed out of a podcast from Gary Vaynerchuk like a month ago, where a lot of us in sales will do a ton of pushing to make that final sale, not realizing that there probably could have been some more work beforehand to build up our brand, so that when you walk in, essentially when Gary walks into an event, if you don't know Gary Vee, look him up. You'll quickly fall into his world. He walks into a bid for marketing, and rather than a flashy video or something, he's Gary Vee. Everybody knows him. They know the amount of attention and work ethic behind his company, the things that he pushes. And that's essentially what I'm trying to get you to do, is to put the work in before you have that final chance to be in front of a committee that's going to make a decision whether or not you can help them with their 401k. If you can walk in and they already all know you and already have a strong, solid, positive feeling about you, you're going to win. What was unique about the current war is they both had good brands personally and were well known. And as the movie portrayed, Westinghouse was a little more of a savvy business leader and CEO, versus Edison was more of a wild card inventor at times. Both very, very smart. And I want to kind of take both of those together and help you, because if you can prepare early, you will win the plan, and then we're going to work on better results. I literally today spent the whole day shooting videos for a website, because we have a new plan moving over from Empower to Vanguard. And we're in this coronavirus. I can't go out and do my normal enrollment meetings. So I want to communicate, and I wanted to chop it up into bite-sized pieces for all these people that are going to be logging into a new system, looking at new investments. It's completely new for them. And how am I going to capture all their attention? They're all over the place. At different times, they're going to have time to look at it. So I put it all on a website for them that they could access 24/7 with their spouse. And I did most of the videos in a way that I could clone that site and continually make changes and adjustments as the plan changes, but also clone it for other clients and make changes to whatever their plan design might have. But I'm scaling my business in a way that I will be in front of them face to face, just like you're watching me now, building my brand and my reputation with them, even if I don't get the chance to see them in their office for who knows how long. And so those are my 3 things I took away. if you haven't seen the movie, go check it out. It's a good one. It's worth it. I think it was done really well. And I'm no history buff. I don't know the exact details, but overall, I like the story behind it, and I think you will too. Have a wonderful Monday, everybody. Thanks for watching.